Howdy, folks. I'm Ladi Loera. For about 25 years, I made my living as an artist. I built my business from scratch, and about 5 years in, my partner at the time, Chris, quit his job and came to work with me. And honestly, it was wonderful because he took over the one part of the job that I absolutely hated: talking to people. Give me a quiet studio, give me a paintbrush and something to paint on. I am absolutely in heaven. But talking to people, talking to customers, trying to explain who I am and what my art means, I would rather rip out all my teeth. And I like my teeth. Chris handled all of the customers. He was great at it and business thrived. But when he passed away, I knew that I was going to have to do the thing that I had been avoiding. So I joined a well-known public speaking group. I found a mentor and I learned to talk to people, not comfortably, but at least without emotional whiplash. And that's something. I learned how to make myself seem comfortable, even when I wasn't. I learned how to get my ideas across and talk about things that actually matter to me. I learned to allow the fear of public speaking to exist without allowing it to stop me. I put in the work. I even won awards for public speaking. I was competing at a public speaking event, and I told a story about resilience, about learning to keep going even when life feels impossible. And the problem, according to them, with my story was that I'm a gay guy, and the story was about me losing my partner. I was told that voting members would never choose a gay story, but I didn't believe that a gay story could be problematic. I'm from Texas. We talk a big game about personal freedom here. But I'd also been out since I was about 19. And sometimes I forget that simply being gay is enough of a reason for people to push you to the side. Even my speech coach told me, you can't talk about Chris like that. You're going to have to change him to being your brother. He can't be your partner in this story. And I was heartbroken. Chris was not my brother. Our relationship was built on choosing each other, and that mattered. Also, I was simply unwilling to rewrite my life to make it more palatable for other people. So I told my story exactly as it was, exactly as I had written it. I didn't win. I didn't even place. And afterwards, my coach, he wouldn't even talk to me. He saw me across the room, shrugged his shoulders at me, and walked away. We never spoke to each other since then. I felt lost because this organization that I had given so much time to, this organization that had helped me learn to speak up for myself, didn't really want me there. They wanted a version of me, but only the version that they found acceptable. And the problem is, I had learned too well how to speak up. The idea of winning the competition wasn't as strong as the idea of being true to myself. Then a friend told me about a show called Testify. And I submitted the same story and I got selected. And what happened next changed everything for me. I met with the producers and they gave me feedback and I got to tell my story. Honestly, no edits, no euphemism, no pretending. And the audience was incredible. They gasped, they laughed, they leaned in. Afterwards, almost 30 people came up to me, talking to me about their own experiences with loss and grief. And I was hooked. I went to every show I could. I told a story every time they'd let me. And a couple of years in, Kate Caldwell, who founded Testify, asked me to become a producer. I said yes immediately. I didn't even have to think about it. Eventually, Kate had to step away. She'd had a baby. She had a family. She had a full life. And I begged her to let me take on Testify because this show had given me a place to belong. And I did not want that to disappear. With her blessing, I built the business around Testify. I invited Angela Maldonado to join me. She is the person who first onboarded me to Testify. She's the one who helped me with my first story I told on their stage. Then I invited Mark Gifford to be one of our producers, and then Gloria Rabel joined us soon after. Sure, we could have built an entirely new show, and it would have been great because Angela, Mark, Gloria, they are brilliant people to work with. But I didn't want to lose that spark that Testify gave me, that total acceptance. You see, Testify not only wants you to be yourself, we celebrate you being yourself. That's what Testify is. It's a place where you don't have to change who you are to be heard. At Testify, we want your stories. Trans stories, black and brown stories, women's stories. We want all the stories. Our only rule is that you can't punch down. At Testify, we don't allow stories that insult or stereotype an entire community. You could talk about specific people or specific experiences, but not entire groups. But if you have a story about your terrible neighbor, we want to hear that story. I mean, if your neighbor wanted you to talk nice about him, he should have been a better person. Some people say it takes too many steps to tell a story at Testify, and yeah, it's not an open mic. You can't just walk on stage and wing it. You'll work with the producers because we've learned something after working with hundreds of storytellers. The first draft is never the most powerful draft. Even in our own lives, we miss things that are glaringly obvious to other people. Our producers are going to work with you to help you shape your story, not to change who you are, but to help you tell it in the most powerful and honest way possible. And along the way, our storytellers learn a lot more about storytelling, but they also learn a little bit more about themselves. That's what Testify is. And I have a question for you. What's your story? We'd love to have you come share it with us.